Hello and welcome. Today's the big day. The big reveal on the sewing themed folio. I can finally reveal who this is for. This is a custom order from Dale, not too shabby chic. I haven't shown the last two videos, one working on it and then this one, the flip through, I just finished up. Because I wanted her to be surprised on how it turned out. So I won't show this video or air this video until she has it in her hands. That way, you know, she can open it and be surprised with some things. Because she said she wasn't going to peek, but she's been peeking and commenting, so, and I get it. I had several orders ahead of this one, so I've been picking it up, putting it down, picking it up, and then I had Etsy orders in between, and then I was working on Christmas stuff as well. So it took quite a while to make, but I'm really happy how it turned out. This pattern is a very vintage pattern. I don't even remember the date on it. I probably should look that up. I could probably look it up. But it was really torn. If you look in my part 1 video, where I showed I had to add to the pattern to make it a whole page to fit on my cover. And I did that with tea stain paper. I glued the pattern, I took the pattern apart totally and then glued it to tea stain paper. And I did that with the back as well. And I used Ranger Distress Collage Medium, the matte finish. This is really growing on me. I'm using it a lot now. So every time I get to use a coupon at Joann's, that's what I'm getting. Okay, I did put lace on the spine, and I tea stained the lace. It is a hidden spine, and I did use the hitch post here. I'm not crazy about the hair tie thing, so I did hide it in here, and I showed that on the last video how I did that. Excuse me for a moment. And I did sew around the whole book, and I did, when I came to here, I want one stitch at a time, just to make sure I didn't break a needle, and it went through, did really well. But before I put this in, I made sure I had clearance here to get by there. I got a little off track there, but I mean, it's still good. Alright, so here I put a pocket here, and I made a tag. This pocket is, if I can find it, this is a Spellbinders, their die of the month. Let me see if I can see what month this is. July 2022. They just, I think like a month or so ago, started clearancing them out. All their dies of the month were $10. So try to keep an eye on that. I mean, they randomly do it. I would love to join their die of the month, but I just don't want to have a lot of dies that I wouldn't use and then have to store them. So that was a good deal. So that was that. I did that. And then I backed it with tea stain paper, glued it to tea stain paper, and made it a hole so that I could glue the tea stain paper down on my fabric. The fabric here is a white eyelet I used it in my last one here on the inside, on this one that I shared, and I really liked it, but Dale wanted everything grungy, so I tea stained it, and I really like how it turned out. And then I made her a tag, and I did this today, and I love this stamp. It says, "Friends are flowers that never fade." I did stamp it crooked, but I had tested the color on a piece of scrap and forgot to clean off my stamp. So when I went to place it on my tag, I dropped it, so that's where it landed. So and I didn't want to ruin that tag. That was my first try at tea staining with plastic doilies outside, so I didn't want to ruin that. And then I just put some of the sewing tissue paper on the back, and then I put some wide lace up here. I sewed it across here, and then just made a little ribbon here. I think this is chiffon ribbon. Yeah, I have a lot of ribbon, so I made a little bow, a bow to put on there. So that'll go in that pocket. And she wanted extra pockets. Oh, this tag die is, I'm going to try to show you the dies I use. Is a photo play, and I really like that die. It's this one here. It comes with all of these. This is just my sample and the way I store everything. I have a video on that in my die cutting 101. Sorry, all of a sudden I got a frog in my throat. Okay. And then I made her, she's not expecting this, but I made her some ribbon holders. And I made it in this color here to coordinate with the cover. And I've shared that die before. That is waffle flower, and it comes in 3 sizes. And these are my signature. They're really thick cardstock. I put 2 cardstocks together. It's a really big process. But I see people are copying me now, but that's okay. This trim here is tea stain file folder, and it basically was this color, and it wasn't dark enough for me, so I took my vintage photo and I distressed it. And then I have my plastic sheets. These are old vintage sheet protectors, and they're clear. So, and I used all the tissue, sewing tissue for the background. Everything's sewn. And I alternated pages, like the large and then the 2 medium and then the 3 small up here. And then I'm back to, 2 large. And then that there. 2 large there. I tried to use all the pattern pieces, everything within the pattern itself. I really love how it turned out. These are kind of getting... And if I didn't have enough of the pattern, I just added some of the tissue paper, the pattern piece. I just used a piece that had nothing on it, just for a filler. I wanted to put ribbons on all of these, but it made it too bulky, so I decided not to. She can put whatever she wants on there. And then the back page, I've got the instructions. I decided to do the instructions on the back page. So there's that. And then I have another pocket in the back here. And this is a Elizabeth craft design. And this is Rose Pocket. I really love this pocket. The only thing is that it has this right here, so you just have to be mindful of when you put it down that stuff will only go so far in it. So, and I just put the tracing paper on glued it on the inside, and then glued it to a piece of tea stain file folder like this. That way I had something solid to glue to the back. So there's that. It's a pretty big die. I really like that. And then I used this was from the instructions. I just made a tall card. I wanted to get most of the girls on there. And I just glued it to my handmade tea stain file folder. I used a plastic doily, and I did that outside. Sorry. And then I did use, when I put this on, it was really torn here and ripped, and I really wanted to get, I might have to put a little bit more glue right there. Yeah, I'll put a little bit more glue. I glued it, I sealed the top, and I really like the color that gives because, where's my pattern pieces? If you see the color of the pattern, the instruction pieces, I'm hoping I have a piece here. I might have, no, it's right here. Here's one little piece. Luckily I have one little piece. These are all the leftover scraps. This is the instructions. So I glued it on, I put glue stick on my tea stain file folder, then put this page down, and then I seal coated it with the Collage medium, and I really love how that sealed that color in and made it pop, because otherwise it would be like this. See the difference? So I really like that, and I like the feel of it. Not like the other decoupage stuff. I just don't like it. So this stuff is really working on me. All right, I'm going to keep this out so I fix that. But that goes in this pocket here, and it only goes down so far, which is perfect because it sticks out. On the, this is a hidden spine, and I had sewn it to, I showed it in the last video, I sewed it to tea stain file folder and then put it in there. I had already put down lace, and this is a wide lace. It goes from here to here all the way, and I had tea stained it, and I love how it turned out. And then, like I did on the last one, I cut a little bit extra. This is cotton crocheted lace. I left a little bit extra so I could tuck it in on the inside. I really like doing that. So, but if you can see, all the pages are sewn. All of these pieces that I put on, I sewed around and then glued them on. So, and then sewed around the entire book. I tried to put corners on, and I almost wrecked it. I watched videos, I have corners, and I know they're Tim Holtz corners. I don't know if I was too aggressive, but I just didn't like it, and I took them off. So, no corners. All right, yeah, I'm gonna fix that. I also took the scraps from the pattern pieces and instructions, and made her this little booklet. This right here, Advanced Printed Patterns, this was on the part of the envelope, and I saved it, and then I just ripped it and put it on the front of this booklet. I used this die here. It's called Album Cover, and it's by Sizzix. It's an old one. Yeah. And it just cuts it. It just cuts a square with 2 holes, and it has a perforation here where it creases it so you can fold this back. And I really love it, but I rounded the corners. I did on the front pieces and the back piece. I had some of this seam binding here that was kind of matching the color theme, and I sewed that around the edge. I sewed it on there just to give it some interest. And I had some little sewing charms on there I put on there, and I had one that I found made with love, and then I just put another chiffon ribbon bow on there, tied it. She can untie this, nothing is glued or anything, and take it apart. But what I wanted to do is kind of use up all the pattern pieces. I just cut them all out. These here are the actual tissue. I glued them onto tea-stained pages, whatever I had in my stash, and I used the collage medium. So these could be little cards as well. She could die cut these out, make pockets, make small tags. There's the instructions, more tissue paper. These two I just glued together with, I think, glue stick. Some more instructions, some more pattern pieces. That's glued to tea-stained pages. Oh, it's raining. Instructions. I kind of alternated, and this is more tissue paper glued to tea-stained paper, and then so on. It just goes. And then there's the back. Now the front and back cover, once I glued this on, it was just kind of plain to me, so I ran it through my embossing folder. So I really like how that turned out, and that gives her a little extra something something. So there's that. And I did make her a Memorydex card. Yeah. And I do have this by Sizzix. It's called Rolodex cards. I don't know if I got a number. No, it's called Card, Telephone, and Address. You might be able to still get this. It's awesome. It'll cut fabric. It'll cut anything. So I really like this. It does get stuck in there. That's why there's this hole, and you just take your finger and poke it out. So I really like it. So I have that. Here's my card I made. I haven't put my info on the back because I knew I was going to show it. Here it is. And I put, you know, this color here. My favorite color is purple, but I kind of wanted it to go with the whole teal theme. So that's why I, excuse me, put that there. But this is a, well, let me go with the background first. The background is, if you see my video where I won a wedding dress from Dale, and I have taken it apart. I cut it a piece, I glued it to tea-stained file folder, then I embossed it. Well, let me backtrack. I did try to tea-stain it. Let me show you. This is just some of the wedding dress. These are the big pieces. I have 3 bags. of that big wedding dress. So because it has a lot of synthetic in it, it wouldn't really tea stain, but it turned out really well. So I just cut a piece big enough for my Rolodex, and then I glued it to tea stain file folder and then cut it out. And it wasn't really dark enough, so I took my vintage photo and just went over the whole thing. But I embossed it. And I really like how that turned out. Then I glued it to another piece of tea stain file folder. So there's like a couple pieces in there. Yeah, I cut it out first and then ran it through the embossing folder. But yeah, it cut through quite a bit there. I wanted it to be strong enough to hold up because I didn't know, putting this on, how much weight it would be. So this is from the Tim Holtz Alterations. This is called Sewing Room, and it has the dress form, the button, and the spool. So what I did was I took a doily. Where did I put that? Right here, because I wanted to show you. So I don't know if I got this doily from Dale. I know she gifted me some things, but what I did was I glued it to tea stain file folder. Oh, there's another one of my decor. I didn't want to use this, but I was running out of tea stain folder at the time, and I wanted to make it. So I glued it to tea stain file folder and then just ran it through the die. You would do it like this. So see, it's like this. I could have cut sections and saved it, but I just went for it and put it on there and then ran it through, and it worked out really well. These are the big dies. These will cut through really thick things. And I have the purple tape on there. This is the painter's tape, just for guidelines for me where placement. So yeah, that worked out really well. I have some extras to do some with on here, so it worked out really well. I really like how that turned out. Then I just glued them on here. I just put some well, this is beige crochet thread, but it wasn't dark enough, so I hit it with some vintage photo. This here is a piece of the wedding dress. I don't know if I have any. It was, here's all the pieces. But yeah, it was just a section of this, and I tea stained it. Actually, here it is right here. I thought I saved it. It did really well. The only thing is the I don't know, these might have been like sequins or something. They didn't do too well in the tea. So I would next time, yeah, take those off. But yeah, I still have more I can cut up and use in pieces, but I just put a piece there on there. So she's got some of her wedding dress back in the background here. This is wedding dress and this is wedding dress. And then I think she gifted me this doily. I'm not sure. So there's that. So I have 3 bags of the different parts of the wedding dress. I have the bottom part with all the fabric, and then this has all the lace on it. And then my other bag has the this ribbon here, which I will take this all off. I'll have to sit with a seam ripper and take that all off, but this can be used here. So there's quite a bit of it here. So I got 3 bags of wedding dress. So there you go. This is my Rolodex, and that's how I made it, and I'm really happy with it. I just got to put all my info on there, and I'm just so happy I finally finished this for her. And I know she's been waiting and waiting, but I had several orders ahead, and then the garden, and so yeah, she's finally done, and I'm really happy how it turned out. I've showed many people, and they just are like blown away. But it just, to me, it just, if I sat and just did it, you know, and not have to pick it up and put it down, I'm gonna have to put a little glue on that. Yeah. Well, I hope you enjoyed the flip through, and I hope Dale enjoys this folio and gets some good use out of it. I am happy it's finished, and I have several other projects that I need to finish up, get back to my Christmas journals, and finish up some of my challenges as well. So I'll leave that open till it dries. It might be dry. Oh yeah, I wanted to show you one thing. Let me just put that in there for a sec. On this chiffon ribbon, it does fray. I love using it, but it does fray. So what I do is I put some fray check on it. I get it cut where I want it, and then put a piece of paper towel. You know, it does drip through, so I have a little, I just keep this, put that under there, and then just put your fray check on there on the edge, and then just let it sit. But be careful what it touches, because sometimes different fabrics, different materials, it will stain it, it'll discolor it. So I just put a little bit on there and just let it sit for a minute, and then let it dry, and then it's good to go. It does have an odor, but it goes away after a while, and it does make it stiff. Yeah, see, the odor is still there, but that'll go away after time. But it won't fray, because otherwise it would, like, I'll just show you. It would just keep fraying and look really ratty. So that's an easy way to do that. It just takes time. And I did the same thing on my tag on the inside here. I did the same thing. Oops. On this one here, I did it on the edges of here. You can kind of see it because it does turn it a different color, but you know, it'll keep it from getting all ratty, and I just love that ribbon. I really love it. Okay, that's it for the sewing folio. I'm going to put my info on here and get everything wrapped up. I got to fix the bottom of this, and hope you got some inspiration from it. Thanks for watching. I appreciate all your comments and everybody watching. I really appreciate it, and take care. Bye.